So as per section 22, what we can say is registration in GST is PAN based and state specific. That means PAN based means definitely GST registration will be having PAN as its basic thing. Antenna. So whatever the registration we will get with respect to GST is based on PAN only. So it is a 15 digit number. It is a 15 digit number. In that, already we discussed about this particular thing. First two numbers. Wait a minute, I will tell you. In this 15 digits, 2 plus 10 plus 2 plus 1. First two digits generally will resemble state code, and 10 digits of the person who is applying for registration, that person's PAN, permanent account number. And whereas these two are treated as entity code, that means number of place of businesses that the person is having, and the last one is checksum digit. Generally system randomly allots a number. All these 15 numbers all together is treated as GST identification number. Generally, it is available to the applicant who applied for registration on the GST common portal itself. Understood? Now the question arises, sir, how many registrations we may need? How many registrations we may need? Sir, how many registrations generally we may need? Anybody can tell me? Or anybody? Generally, how many registration is needed will be taken care by how many number of states you are having the place of business. Say for example, Mr. X is having place of businesses, say for example in AP, this is AP, and this is Telangana, and whereas this is Tamil Nadu. That is assumed like that. Mr. X is having place of businesses in all these three areas. So initially, what we can say is in this is having two place of businesses, and in Tamil Nadu one, and in Telangana one. Understood? So these are the respective areas or respective places where Mr. X is having a place of business. Understood what I am saying? Now the question arises, how many RCs that are required by Mr. X? How many RC? RC means registration certificate is required by Mr. X. How many RCs are required? Generally, number of RCs is equal to number of states. Sorry. In how many states we are having the place of business? That much number of RCs are required for the registration. Say number of states here is 3. Therefore, the mandatory number of RCs are required. That means Mr. X is required to take registration in AP, Telangana, and Tamil Nadu. That is on a mandatory basis. That means he should take registration in all these three states. Now, my question is here, in AP, Mr. X is having two place of businesses. Mr. X is having two place of businesses. My doubt is here, in AP, is Mr. X able to obtain separate registration? Is Mr. X is able to obtain separate registration? Yes or no? What is your answer? Yes, definitely Mr. X is able to obtain separate registration. My question is here. So Mr. X can get separate RC for these two places. Mr. X is able to obtain separate RCs for these two. Understood what I am saying? My doubt is here, okay, Mr. X is doing two different types of businesses in AP. Say, for example, this place is carrying on some computer shop, and this particular place is doing some mobile, that means what we can say, cell phone shop, mobile shop. That means these two are doing separate businesses. These two are doing separate businesses. Now, what is the position, sir? Now, what is the position? That means here I'm asking you three questions. First question. First question is Mr. X is able to obtain separate RC. First question. Here the answer is what you are saying. What is the answer here? Yes. Mr. X is able to obtain separate RC. Understood. Next question arises in this particular case is, this is question number 1. And this is, what is the question number 2 in this particular case is Mr. X is having two separate business verticals in AP. Then separate RC is mandatory or optional one. Next question, what is the next question we are asking here? If is Mr. X is having two separate business verticals in AP, then separate registration is mandatory or optional? What is your answer? What is your answer? Separate registration is optional. Separate registration is optional. Understood what I am saying? Excuse me. So why? Because as long as you're having the place of businesses in one state, then you are doing separate business or you are doing similar business is irrelevant. As long as you stays in the same state, all your place of businesses are actually there in the same state, then definitely there is no need for separate registration. That means there is no mandatory separate registration. But if at all the supplier wants to take the separate registration, then definitely he can take it. But whereas it is only optional for the supplier, as long as all the place of businesses resides in one state. If at all at least one place of business that is residing or that is situated in some other state, then definitely the supplier has no option left. He should go for separate registration. Okay, now understood what I'm saying? Say for example, so here the summary is in this particular thing, what we are saying. So if a person having place of businesses in different states, then separate RC is mandatory. If a person is having place of businesses in different states, then separate RC is mandatory. Whereas if a person having place of businesses in the same state, then separate RC is optional. Whether he is doing the same business or he is doing a different business. Understood what I am saying? Understood. So This is with respect to the point what I am actually telling you. So that's why registration under GST is state specific. That was the thing I am telling you. Okay, Nama. This was the first point actually I'm talking about. The registration in GST is PAN based and state specific, whereas one registration per state or UT. However, if a business entity is having separate place of businesses in a state, may obtain what the word I used here, may. That means it is optional. Optional to the supplier. Optional to the supplier. It is optional to the supplier to obtain separate registration for all these place of businesses. Understood. Now the next question arises. Sir, whatever the RCs, say for example, in this particular case, okay, one second. So what here in this particular case, Mr. X is actually obtained RCs from all these three different states, that is within AP, within Telangana and within Tamil Nadu. My question is here, what is the RC that Mr. X is obtained within AP and what is the registration he got there? Is it SGST registration or is it CGST registration? What is the registration he got there? What is the registration that Mr. X is actually got in AP? Is it CGST registration or SGST registration? It is called GST registration. Whatever the registration Mr. X is actually got in AP is called GST registration. That means there is no specific tax-based registration under GST. There is no specific tax-based registration under GST. Understood what I am saying? So that means a GST registration is for all, whether it is for CGST, SGST, IGST, cess, whatever the tax it may be, whatever the tax it may be, whatever the tax it may be, there is single registration for all types of GSTs. There is single registration for all types of GSTs. That's why under GST, registration is not tax specific. This was the point. Understood what I'm saying? So this was the point. Registration under GST is not tax specific. That is single registration for all the taxes, that is CGST, SGST, UTGST, IGST, and cess. Fine. Now the point arises, sir, okay, in how many number of states you're having the place of business, definitely in all those states you're required to obtain the RC mandatory. That is okay. Now, my question is, on crossing which limit we have to obtain for registration, we have to apply for registration. What is the limit that was there? Here the limit varies from state to state and varies from goods to services also. Understood what I am saying? Here the question is, there is a applicable threshold limit that was there with number of states is different depending upon the economic conditions and geographical importance and all these things. The nation, sorry, what we can say, GST Council, on the recommendation of GST Council, the government has actually divided the areas into these places. Okay. Generally, I think all of you familiar with the word SCS, special category state. I think all of you familiar with the word special category state. Understood what I'm saying? So as per GST Council recommendation, there are 11 special category states. There are 11 special category states. Understood what I'm saying? So in that 11 special category states, Manipur, one second. Yes, Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura. The registration limit is 10 lakhs, whether for goods or for service. Understood? Whereas another four special category, all these four are special category states. And another four special category states are there: Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Sikkim, Uttarakhand. For these four special category states, the registration limit is 20 lakhs. The registration limit is 20 lakhs. And these two, even though these two are non-special category states, non-special category states, for them also the registration limit is 20, whether for goods or for services. Understood? And apart from that, another three special category states are there: Jammu and Kashmir, Assam, Himachal Pradesh. For these three special category states, with respect to goods, the registration limit is 40 lakhs, and rest of India is also 40. And with respect to services, the registration limit for them is 20 lakhs. This was what was there in the material. Okay. Now we have to segregate these things in an understandable manner. Okay, wait a minute. So here there are four. How many special category states are there? 11. In that 11 special categories of states, 4, 4, 3. We divided like that. Okay. What is first, for four special category states, the registration limit is 10 lakhs, and another four, it is 20 lakhs, and another three, it is 40 lakhs. I'm talking about goods. With respect to goods. Understood. So what are the four special category states that are covered under 10 lakhs? What are the four special category states that are covered under 10 lakhs? Mizoram. Tell me, what are the special category states that are covered under 10 lakhs? Anybody? Tell me. Mizoram, Manipur, Tripura, Nagaland, MMDA. Okay. And another four special category states that was there in 20 lakhs limit. 20 lakhs limit. Arunachal Pradesh. Okay. Arunachal Pradesh. Apart from that, only one case special category state there. State is there. Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim, and Uttarakhand, and another one, Manipur. Manipur. And what are the things that are covered under 40 lakhs category? Assam, Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh. Okay. So these special category states are divided into three types here. So for four special category states, the registration limit is 10 lakhs. And for four special category states, the registration limit with respect to goods is 20 lakhs. And Assam, Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, for these three special category states, the registration limit is 40 lakhs. And what about the rest of the country? The rest of India, with respect to goods, 40 lakhs is the limit. Understood? And what about with respect to services? What about with respect to services? With respect to services, there are only two categories, only two types. With respect to services, special category states and normal states. Special category states 4 and 7, I think they are divided. For 4 special category states, the limit is 10 lakhs, and for rest 20. And for normal states, the registration limit is 20 lakhs, I think so. So what are those 4 special category states for only 10 lakhs is applicable? The one which I told you in the 4 lakhs category with respect to goods, same as here also. MMTN. MMTN. Understood what I am saying? So here, so what is meant by MMTN? What is meant by MMTN? What is meant by MMTN? Mizoram, Meghalaya, Tripura, Nagaland. And for remaining all all the other special category states, and the limit is how much? 20 lakhs. Whereas for the normal states, it is 20 lakhs. And here I just forgot to tell you, two non-special category states are also there. Those two are Telangana and Puducherry. That means Pondicherry. Even though these two are non-special category states, the limit is how much? Yes, 20. Understood what I'm saying?